wonderful show on a Thursday morning at 9 o'clock in Stewart Ever, the Forum. And the Forum's been around for a while. I'm going to have to call the office and find out when we really started, but I'm guessing, see, my guesses are wrong. I want to say 7 or 8 years. I think we're about right. Maybe more. I don't know. We just keep one of the stalwarts. And a lot of people listen. Thank you for listening out there.
It's a blessing.
I have today with me a double person, a colleague and a friend.
You got that right.
And we're going to do Deidre Murray.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Deidre Murray is Director of Admissions at an assisted living and memory care unit in Fort Pierce. And it's called the Linmore at Lawnwood. The reason why it's the Linmore at Lawnwood is it's not because it's part of the hospital, but if you drive up, what's the street?
It's Nebraska.
Nebraska, okay.
Yeah.
If you go up Nebraska off of 25th Street,
You got it.
the hospital is on the right-hand side, and just past it, there's this little left turn that says Lawnwood Circle. And Lawnwood Circle goes up and around and around and around and around and gets pretty close to 13th Street.
That's right.
Now, when you take that little left, you see a beautiful building on the left-hand side, which is the Lawnwood Rehab Hospital. It's still the drug treatment center.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Yes.
And just past that, there's an empty field. And past the empty field is the Linmore at Lawnwood.
Lots of love.
And
at
you
the
guys been
Linmore.
around for a while?
We have. Actually, we're going to celebrate our 20th.
Yep.
20 years.
With a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful care unit
Yeah.
attached.
And
Memory
it's-
care.
Yeah, it's actually 3. It was built to, as you know, because you've been involved for so many
Triple.
years, that it has the capabilities. It's 3 actual memory support neighborhoods.
And staffing is a nightmare when you're trying to put all 3 running together.
You have to be creative for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did actually open the 3rd up as an enhanced care. Because of our licensure, we can have a high level of nursing, but also still have that feeling of home. So
Like
we
an
did-
age in
yeah,
place.
Yeah, exactly. So a
Oh,
higher level.
But
of
I
care.
don't mean to be crude about it, but it's
Sure.
called die in place.
Well, you're right. You
Or
are
pass in
absolutely
place,
right.
you know.
Yes, with dignity and hopefully a
Yeah.
feeling of value.
If my mom were in that building for 10 years and suddenly she's deemed terminal, she has stage 4 pancreatic cancer, the doctor is giving us 3 months, 6 months, we put her on some comforting medications. I'm not going to move her to a nursing home.
You
Start
try
all
to
over.
avoid that. At all
She's had
costs.
friends there. She's had staff there. They know her needs and stuff. And if you have that extra license,
Mhm.
extended congregate
Congregate
care,
care, yes.
ECC. And when people ask me, well, what do I look for? I said, the first thing you look for is a community that has, notice I didn't say facility,
Proud
community
of
that
you.
has a care unit above and beyond independence, which would be called assisted living.
Mhm.
And most likely, more ideally, if they have extended congregate care, then they work with hospice. Either one now.
Partnering. Yes, we have
Either
that.
one.
Yes, we have those resources. It is, as you said, it can be tragic for people to have to relocate, and especially in a clinical setting. Nothing against, but it is clinical, and so you can stay in your home and age in
Yeah.
place, or
Yeah.
you have.
And I
another way
would prefer that if it were my mother or me, just leave me alone. I mean, this is my home now.
This is my home. Exactly.
And I'm glad the state of Florida recognized that.
It's the best thing that's happened really to assisted living, to enable people to do that. And, it's so dignified that way.
Now, I am a total believer in the Department of Elder Affairs in the
Me
state of
too.
Florida. I served 2 years on their advisory board.
Yeah.
And it blew me away because I thought it was going to be political. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to be involved in that crap. And I met the most fabulous, humble, helpful people I've ever met in my life.
Actual advocates.
And they had the money. They were
Yeah.
paying out. At one meeting,
Amazing.
one lady said, well, we're running a little over extra money because my agency we're sponsoring didn't come up with that program. Does anybody need any money that we can divert to you?
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, wow.
I love hearing that.
I know they
period.
all work together, and I love the idea of people like this working together. But in spite of all that I'm saying, I would love the next person who's going to write some regs for assisted living to go and spend a week in a bed in an assisted living community. Talk to people, talk to families who have loved ones who are in those communities, then look about regulations.
Live the experience.
Let's see what it is.
I could not agree more. What a brilliant idea.
There was a movie with, what's his name? He was in Body Heat. Jeff.
Oh, Bridges. Yes.
Bridges. Good. See, Body Heat, Jeff Bridges.
He's a cute one.
He was a physician and went in and spent time in a hospital as a patient.
I forgot about that.
It's a sketch.
Wow. I have to get it.
All the things he complained about, he was getting done. Right.
There's nothing like putting yourself in that shoe, walking that mile.
Right. Well, you said, I do have an affinity to Linmore because
you do.
I spent 9 months there, not as a resident. I was hired as a consultant to build the activity program for the secure unit, which we did about 3 months. And then someone we both know moved into admissions.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, could you spend a little time with her and get that up? Which we did for another 2 or 3 months. Then the activities director left. The person who was admissions was put into activities. And they said to me, she's never done activities. Would you help her for a while? So after about 9 months, I said, that's it.
That's it.
I was like 3 days a week. I said, this is a job. I don't have jobs anymore.
My volunteer work is over.
I don't get rid of this paper thing. Is that a check? I don't even remember what a check looked like. It's been a long time since I've gotten one. But
how rewarding, setting them up for success.
But at that point, they just had the middle room with rooms sleeping rooms off to the side.
Right.
And we had to make some changes. We went through the videos to make sure there was nothing violent in any of the videos that they watched. They could watch Mayberry, RFD. They could watch, I Love Lucy.
Yes.
Their era things, but nothing that had any passion or violence.
Yes.
Because that can stir them up.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I had the cutest thing happen, man. It happened in that building.
Oh.
They had just put up a brand new poster thing that had, today is sunny. It is March the 20, whatever.
Oh, yes, 26.
2020.
Wow.
One of the residents was looking at it. He got mad. He said, come here. I said, what? He said, that's wrong. I said, what's wrong? He said, the date. I said, it's March. He said, no, the year. He said, this is 1956. Why did you put that up there? It should say 1956.
Wow.
So I recommended we take the year off. And every place I've gone,
that is,
I see it, take the year off.
Absolutely.
And you know how mad they get.
Yes, that would be
if
so
you're not
upsetting.
in their era and in their
you
in
have
their
to
mind.
be with them. Yes, we go with it, never against it.
Yes. And they say, well, what's the difference? You're working with, like, you're treating him like a kid. And I said, wait a minute. Here's the difference. If I asked a 4-year-old to count from 1 to 10, and they said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'd say, what would I say to her? No, try it again.
Yeah.
You missed something.
Right.
I gave her no credit for the 9. That's called being a parent.
It is.
You never get any credit for the good stuff.
No, you never.
Well, now
do.
let's switch
now we
to
don't reorient.
Let's switch to a person with dementia, and I'm working with them. They're 89 years old. I said, by the way, count to 10. And they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what I'm going to say? Good.
Excellent.
Good. In other words, you gave it a good try. You had a whole lot of them right. See, we should do that with the kids, saying most of it was right. Oh, and there's a cute joke about that too.
Not finding the one that wasn't right.
This little boy, his father was a gambler. Little boy went to kindergarten for the first time, and the teacher said, "Can you count?" And he said, "Yes, my daddy taught me how to count." So, okay, count for me. And he said, "Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace."
That reminds me of my childhood.
You learned to count at a very early age.
Oh yeah, the cards. Yes, we actually have my mother's slot machine at the Linmore. She loved the slots.
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah, she loved numbers and cards and so
Did
we had
she
the
go to
slot machine.
Vegas and all this?
Oh, you know it.
Oh,
Yes,
boy, oh,
yes.
boy, oh, boy.
Loved it. Loved it.
Nothing worse than a person who goes to Vegas and gambles, especially if they're shooting craps.
She was so good though. She never ever gambled anything she didn't have to lose. You
Right,
know,
right.
thank God. It was
Well, I've had a little
wonderful.
stash for years, and I
Oh,
use that for my
know.
gambling.
You too. You have a fun. You have a good time.
Well, if you spend time in a casino, and they will note your time.
Right.
Every time you throw your card in to get, they give me another $500, whatever. That's all computerized. In fact, every year you can contact them to have them give you a list of your winnings and losings for the year.
What's it called? Rating? Is it
Ratings,
rating?
yeah. Well, so you get rated, and when you get rated, you get stuff.
Yeah. Well, yes. Usually the trips were,
That's
Comped.
why we cruise a lot, because we get comped. No, I mean, they don't give us free club cruises, but close to that.
It's
They want their
awesome.
money back.
I remember my
Come and give
mother.
us some of your
My
money
mother
back.
won the my wedding money. That's how she did it. She won it in the Bahamas. 10,000 for the wedding.
At the Crystal Palace Hotel.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, before that, it was the movie Thunderball, James Bond movie. The first one was filmed at Paradise Island Casino
Oh yeah.
and Hotel. That's
oh
what
my
it was.
gosh, that was fabulous.
And that's where Atlantis is now. And down the 7 miles down the road from downtown, something called Cable Beach.
Oh my gosh.
And that used to be the Crystal Palace Hotel Casino.
Oh yeah. It's fab.
That's gone. And there's a $3 billion structure called Baha-Mar.
Oh, I have not. Yes.
Jack Nicklaus went and redesigned the golf course. I mean, it's
remember that.
huge. It's fabulous.
I did go down to the Seminole, the Hard Rock.
Oh.
Yeah, we'd like to bring the residents once we're all through with this.
But they have a bus
business.
that they'll pick them up.
Yeah,
too, won't they? Right.
Exactly. Bring them down. I think they'd love it.
The only problem with me and gambling in the state of Florida is I really can't gamble in the state of Florida because I'm a crap shooter.
Oh, okay.
And there's no craps in Florida. There's the machine, the electronic machine, but there's no
But you
table
can't sit
with
at the
dice.
table.
No table, no dice, no nothing.
Wow.
And there's no roulette. The legislature for years has been petitioned by people saying we need full casinos, and the only thing we don't have is roulette and craps.
I didn't know
But there
that.
is a large faction in the state of Florida
Okay.
that's been here for a long time
Huh.
that's totally opposed to it, and they're very supportive of all our legislators.
Mm-hmm. We know how that works.
And every time there's a vote, it comes out to like 48% yes and 52% no. I mean, so close. And Mr. Wynn, who builds
Mhm.
casinos, has some leases in Miami, and he's waiting.
Okay, he's got
So
it.
if Florida ever goes to full casino, he will build.
He's ready.
He's ready. And people say, no, people will spend their grocery money on gambling. Well, that didn't really have an effect with the lottery.
I
You know,
didn't
that it wouldn't make people broke because they were trying to win money and not buying food.
Well, that's not a good idea.
You might do that once or twice till you realize I don't have any food. Anyway, so Linmore is very close to my heart.
I know it is.
And all the beautiful, you rebuilt that whole section. And then you also rebuilt, when you come into the left, this whole used to be a corridor.
Yeah.
And now how many rooms are there?
12.
12 rooms.
Yeah. What's nice about that area is in that bistro, there's a bistro where we can actually cook together. It's like a living room with a beautiful kitchen, but we can, taste and tell, cook their favorite recipes, and the residents are
We used
sitting
to do
with
that
us.
in that
It's
room
great.
right off the main room,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
which was like a little
Yeah.
craft. room.
Yeah, so it's it really works. It's all one level, so I love that. I don't know if you've been in since we did all the floors. All the floors are wood floors, so there's no steps.
Thank
It's all one level. It's
Plus, I would love to own a company
Mm-hmm.
that would go in, be hired by agencies and organizations to take carpet samples, Scrapings.
Well, we don't have any carpet. Thank
scrapings
God.
of carpet samples. See what's in there. Whereas with a wooden floor, you
Petri
could just
dish.
take some
God bless.
Lysol and a thing and wipe it up and down, or Clorox or something, and you've killed all the germs. I wonder
No.
what's in that carpet.
Right. No, we don't. We just don't want to know.
I better not say anymore. I'll have people coming
No.
for me. But come on, hey, that's, the thing is, the truth sometimes is very hard to suppress.
Well, I think when we're talking about seniors and in senior living and in caring for the senior population, you have to be truthful. You have to be transparent. There can't be any disguises. It's just not the right way.
And you have to look at it from their viewpoint. And that's me. I don't know why I've always been looking at it because I'm a client, I'm a therapist. That's why I look at it from the person who has the problems viewpoint and how the society affects them. And I look at these elderly people and I think, my God, not almost, but so many countries in this world take grandma and grandpa and bring them into the home.
Mm-hmm.
They're revered people in that society. They're smart. They've had tons of experience. They advise the children.
Mm-hmm. They're the matriarch. They're the top.
And here you can't find 3 people in a 5-state area that's a family member.
It is. It's the hardest part. I think that's why my passion is so deep, because I am that advocate. And so many, even if they have the best family members, they may not live here locally. It's a different world now. They're not moving into that in-law suite. It's just not happening. Everybody's working, and you've got the sandwich generation.
Well, you have needs also that you can't be washing floors anymore. You don't want to cook every night. You may have some physical problems that prevent you from doing some things. You may have some cognitive problems.
Mm-hmm.
You're forgetting why you go into that room.
Right.
And you can't, there's a point where you should not ever live alone. You should not live alone.
That's right. That's exactly it. That's what tortures me in the last few weeks, or who's alone, trying to just touch the seniors I've become very close with, and those that I don't know that are out there alone, because this is a time where you really have to reach out into the community. And I'm very proud. I'm very proud about what everybody's doing and the focus.
Well, another thing I advocate for is letting the staff know who that person was.
That's it.
Before they came, or what they did.
Yes.
I'll give you a great story. I love to tell this story because it's so great. I was a rehab director, and I was walking up and down the halls a lot. And there was this little lady who was sitting in a wheelchair in her doorway. She had the face of, those old apple faces.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Love
she
it.
She just sat there smiling. She was invisible, totally invisible. Everybody walked by her like she wasn't there. So one day I went up and I introduced myself. Oh, she got all excited. And every time I walked by and say hi, I forgot her name, but okay. And one day I stopped and I said, let me ask you a question. What did you do when you were young? She said, wait a minute. She wheeled herself in the room, came out with 2 black and white photos.
Oh, I love it.
Handed me the first one. The first one, she was laying on a bearskin rug, naked on her belly.
Wow.
Cute lady, but beautiful face.
Adorable.
Got long hair. Beautiful. Gorgeous. So gorgeous woman.
Oh.
And she must have been all of 5 foot.
Oh my God.
But just beautiful lady.
God bless her.
Then handed me the second picture. And there was a guy in a tux on her left, guy in a tux on her right, and her in a ball gown.
Okay.
And she said, now, the guy on the left was my husband. And the guy on the right was Walt Disney. I said, what? Oh, we owned 2 dance studios in LA and 2 in New York pre-World War II.
Oh, I love it.
And that was the time of,
Oh,
things. She said, we happened out with all those people. I knew everybody in Washington. In LA, it was, one of those things. And treated it so casually. And I'm going, oh my God.
that is incredible. Incredible.
When I told it to the staff, boy, did she become visible. Everybody said, let me see those pictures. Oh, tell us about Walt Disney.
You are so right. You are so right. We have to make those connections. Yeah. It's the key piece. This is a human being that's, it's amazing, because my kids all these years have said, why do you come home and tell us these stories? And now they love the stories.
There's a book. There's a book there
Okay, good.
waiting to be written.
Okay, I like it. Yes.
People's experiences
And
in a
in
congregate
bridging, yes,
living.
absolutely. In bridging, I think the seniors with the youth,
Or let me
I
tell
think
you a
that's
story would
my
be a
serious
great
passion.
title for the book.
Mhm.
What have you done? What have you done? I don't care who they are. They're going to be telling you something that was exciting that they did.
Oh, it's amazing when
You
you
know.
when you make that connection, even with the adult children. I say, who are they? And they said, well, they're not doing anything. She said, home and watching TV. I said, no. What I'm asking is, who is your mother? What did tell me about her life? And immediately they light up and they talk about, but right now in this current moment, it's somewhat of a hardship. It might be just tragic for the adult children to even imagine this is happening. Nobody wants to do this. This is one of those nobody calls, I want to do this today. This is something, but I think
when I
that's
grow up.
right. But soon you realize you can be that solution. You can help people in so many levels, whether they come to your community or not. You have to be dedicated to the cause and what it's about, and it's about the people and their story.
See, if they would
You've
say,
always said that.
if they would say that to me, tell me about your mother, I'd say, I had 3 wooden spoons broken over my shoulder as I was
still have
running.
the marks.
I don't know, why did they like to hit you with a wooden spoon? Because the women always had a spoon in their hand because they were always cooking.
Always cooking, yes, because it was the
Good thing,
quickest way to.
good thing my father wasn't a policeman. He had a billy club.
Oh no, on the head.
Well, we're gonna just go on with a little conversation here for a little bit, and
Good.
when Evan comes back, he's gonna do a commercial thing. Then what I want to know,
Mm-hmm.
from perspective, but everybody wants to know, but most people don't talk about it. How are these residents feeling about what's happening today? I want to get into that a little bit. And I want to get into
yeah.
staff's reaction of their feelings, because things are different now.
Absolutely.
And they're tense, they're uptight. They're feeling like they're being punished.
It is absolutely tragic, I think, but what I think I'm seeing is connections on a whole different level. I've always been so proud of the associates and the relationships and what the residents can do in a community like ours. But right now, this is take that hat off and recreate, good times within the parameters right now. And I'm so proud. I think it's brought us all to a place we never want to be, but we're also in their space right now, understanding, it looks and feels like what would happen if you're moving someone from home. They're isolated.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we going to make those touches every day? Not just bringing meals, but we're used to dancing and music and the happy and creating games and bingo
And the freedom.
the freedom, because we promote independence in assisted living, even at high levels of
but not today.
care or need. No,
not today,
right?
Because you can't go here, you can't do
right.
that, can't do that.
So it's and I always say this in assisted living, like the Linmore, it's more yeses, less nos. Right now, we have to create those yeses that So it's. I'm very proud. I think that everybody has. They've rallied, they understand, they're running in, they're creating, dancing in the hallways, wearing hats, wearing red noses, just bringing the funny, and you just see when you walk by, nobody walks by, everybody stops at the door, how are you? So I think we've connected on a way that we didn't even know was possible. It's tragic.
Okay, we're going to stop and break for a
Awesome.
quick commercial.
I like it.
Let's see if we can hear more in there. Okay. And we are back again here at the forum with Deidre Murray
Thank you for
from
having
the
me.
Glenmore at Lawnwood.
I'm
I
thrilled
said it
to
right
be here.
again.
You did it.
I want to know about what are you doing with these people? I would drive by and see assisted living. I wanted to go and take a look. I go to the doorway and say, "Oh, you can't come in here.
Yeah.
You're banned from coming in." And you say, "I didn't do anything wrong." Well, no, we don't have visitors. So
It's quite a protective shield.
So one thing is we're putting a ban on my walking in to see you
Correct.
or your director
Correct.
until this is cleared. Then I'll be up with you.
You'll come. Yes.
But the residents are on the other side of that barrier. And we're
Yes.
telling them you can't go outside. Now, some of them will understand what that means, and some will not understand.
Correct.
But they'll not say, okay. As soon as they're outside in the patio.
Correct.
Because right now we're going to treat this like a cruise ship. There you go.
And it's always been
Exactly.
Yes, it's a land cruise.
You are living in your room. All of your services will be provided to you in your room.
Correct. Yes.
You have shower capability or bath capability. You have food capability.
Yes.
You have media with the television that's still going on. Yeah. But you can't come in the hall because if you come in the hallway, something bad will catch you.
Could be exposed. Yes.
Would I say it that way? Something bad will catch you.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It is.
You get sick.
Protective.
You get sick.
Right.
The chances are of getting sick if you go out there. So don't go where the sickness is. That's sick
it.
over there. Yeah. And the person saying it is sick too.
It's an interesting world right now. It's tragic for the residents, but what I'm so proud of is how everybody's rallied together and made it as good as it can be. Bringing out the fun, the creative hats, and there's everybody's decorating their masks, and it's the music is on. The music is going through the community. There's dancing. So we have done such a fabulous job of getting rid of the doom and gloom. And creating spaces that, we can still feel the love and the value and appreciation for each other. I'm very, very proud of what we've been able to do for the residents. It's so scary for them. Part of what I do is I'm trying to connect the residents with the family members. I actually did a tour the other day, and this lovely woman is moving in with us next week. But I did the tour.
You still do tours?
Yeah. So this is interesting. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but it went very well. We sat her in a chair outside of the front door. Okay. And she held her son's phone, his iPhone, and we FaceTimed through the whole community.
Yes.
It was fabulous. And she'd tell me to stop. Wait, I want to see that again. Oh, that's neat. What is that room? And then she even met, because we have a semi-private apartment where there's 2 spaces inside of the apartment. And she even met her new roommate through the FaceTime. So,
well, you could make a stock tour. On your phone.
Yes, exactly. We have the video.
You can go around and do it all thing. And then when you're doing a tour, you play that part and say, okay, let's talk a little bit about that. We go to the next station,
Exactly.
I play it.
I think that's what it's about, as much as they want to touch it and feel it. The windows too. So if we can get over the hedge to look through the windows, we're doing that type of tour. There's more urgencies out there than ever, really. I think that's a key part for everybody in senior living to understand. There's so many that are in trouble now, and maybe putting it off, but now realizing, and I have even realized so much. We are the safest. Assisted living is safe right now. It's where we've got the protocols and procedures and in place, where some may not.
What about the testing?
So we haven't had any reason, to test. Of course, if residents do go out to let's say a doctor, a very, very urgent doctor
Mhm.
appointment or hospital visit, they will be under a different type of quarantine, which would be like a 14-day. As we were talking about earlier, the capabilities of the building and the different neighborhoods were able to do that. So we have put that in place. Nobody's in that particular situation, but we have it ready if we have to do isolation, that type of
So we didn't go in there and test everybody immediately.
no, well, there's no tests. They're keeping
Well,
them tight to the chest.
No, I
So,
mean, we do have the nasal swab.
right, it wasn't
See if
available
you have-
for
yeah,
like
right.
when it would have been.
Days ago. Seems like
Yes.
months ago. It's only like a day, a week or
It
two.
is. It's months and a day.
This is amazing because the government doesn't operate this quickly.
No.
When you say something was done, it probably took 3 months. No, it just took a week.
I know it is. Yeah,
Scary.
It is. It is scary. I will say that a lot of times with assisted living, you have corporations and higher ups in a larger company, and you run it at a community level. I will say I've never felt so connected to the whole company and what the upper echelon has done on a daily basis to keep us informed, protecting the residents. It's a focus that it's incredible.
And you can't lay people off.
No, and it's
the
all
state
about
has
the
not
residents and
the state has not
associates.
waived the requirements of staffing and everything.
Right, exactly. So it's a constant every day, talking about what's new, the associates, the residents, and just doing right by everyone and keeping everybody protected.
And ACA says here are the regulations, make them work for you, no matter what your conditions are.
That's right.
Now, can they sit in the hallway of their doorway in a wheelchair?
No, not right now. No.
So we're keeping the door closed. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because if you open the door, if anything will,
because it's airborne. Yeah. So
Right.
in the last, probably half a week or so, we are closing the doors. So progressively we've just moved with the times. But they're understanding. Thank God we're all one level. So I love that. We're all one level, so we can get to all the windows.
You're not running up and down?
Dancing at the windows. So in the courtyard where we're surrounded by, probably 30 to 40, could be 40 apartments that we can dance. So the associates and I are dancing in that courtyard. So they're at the windows. So we're entertaining and having, like I said, finding the light, but, talking, I think, I'm so proud about the conversations I hear with the care associates, and they're all talking to the residents. How are they feeling?
I'm surprised we haven't seen more information from Tallahassee about what we're just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The regulation would be, to confine them to the room with the door closed. All their services be provided to them. And what's the criteria for them to be let out into the hallways?
Mm-hmm.
They need to let you know that and what their plans are for it.
Right. It's less exposure. It's
knowledge is a wonderful thing. It takes a lot of stress off things.
Well, just
if you don't know, you don't know, and you don't know, well, you should know.
That's exactly it. So every day when we have this call and I hear it's so organized and all the information is laid out. And I think that's why I'm not very much of an alarmist. You probably know that by now. But it also does ease your mind. We're getting answers.
Mm-hmm.
It's different with memory support, I would say, where we're trying to keep that distance, but to have residents in their rooms, so we are trying to stay within the parameters and the protocols, but also being realistic. I
got a good night's sleep last night, seriously. Mm-hmm. And for the last 4 or 5, 6 nights, whatever, I was getting increasingly upset about the government. Increasingly upset about the bill they were trying to get through. And I'm not supporting either side. But it was ridiculous that we pay these guys $186,000 a year and they can't get in a room and make some decisions for the people of the country.
I know.
Not for your election, not for your party, but for the people.
Right. Right.
And at 11:38 last night, at a vote of 92 to nothing,
Mm-hmm.
96 to nothing, it passed. And I had a good sleep. Finally, I mean, that little bit of knowledge took all of the stress away from me, and I could do nothing about it.
Right. Right.
That's the frustrating thing.
Yes. It's like you got to pull out the serenity prayer.
I'm not an alcoholic, but I live my life according to their creed.
Yes. I just said the serenity prayer.
Exactly.
My mother gave it to me when I was 16 because I had a bad temper, and I've used it ever since.
And that if you can fix things, do them. If you can't fix them, accept them.
You have
to.
But
be smart and know the difference between the two.
It's so true.
Don't bump your head against the wall trying to fix something that you would have no chance of fixing.
Right. It's the hamster wheel.
And that goes with people interactions as well.
Yeah. I know. I wish some of the decisions were made earlier, of course.
But I'm glad that didn't go on another 2 or 3 weeks or had an impact.
Thank you. That's right.
People are dying in the meantime.
That's right. I had a real reality check too this week. I had to go and rent an SUV because I do drive a little Beetle convertible, and drive to Georgia to pick up my daughter's contents of her dorm.
That's right.
It was an eye opener.
Valdosta.
Valdosta. Yeah.
It's right across the border.
It's right there, but it's still a drive.
To get up to I-10 is sort of a 7 hours.
It was interesting because I'm so focused on the seniors, and just to make that drive with my 19-year-old and seeing how upset, but also so proud that she wasn't being a brat about it. She knows, she understands what's going on. But it was a whole different reality check for me.
Sure.
Her freshman year cut short, and seeing all these families from all over coming, to pack up their kids, and it really did shed a lot of light. I think I am so focused on seniors and making sure they're safe, and just looking at my daughter and the youth, and it's a different way of looking at life. I think we're all going to come out better people.
We're going to be different, though.
We're going to be different. Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to have a better spillover than 9/11 did. And by that, I mean that at 9/11, people were out there hugging neighbors and meeting people they never met before, and flags went up flying over buildings.
Yeah.
I put mine up the next day. It's still there. A flag is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And we worked together as a country, and everything was so great. And then it kind of died away. I'm not sure this is going to die away so quickly.
No.
I think we're going to be conscious of so many things, which we should have been conscious of all along.
Absolutely. I'm a big hugger, and having that energy, and it's been interesting for me to have to step back and love so many from afar. I think it's you're right. I think we will all change. We'll do things differently. We'll look at things a little different.
Well, they say that there is a possibility, and I'm not going to spread any rumors because I'm not a doctor. I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn. But I'm dangerous because I know a little bit about some medicine that happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to be careful. Once you have the virus and it subsides, do you ever get it again? Are you immune? They're not sure.
No, right.
But it's not changing. That's one of the things they say. When it's out like this, gets airborne and everything, it mutates. So far, this virus has not mutated at all.
Interesting.
And they say that's a very good sign. Excuse me, because maybe your body is building up the antibodies, immunities for that.
Right.
So
interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I will be. And that was a question of mine as well. Are we immune? We get it once and maybe we don't get it again. Or if we've had the flu, are we more susceptible?
And that's another topic,
mm-hmm.
the influenza or the flu, because we lose 20 million people every year on this planet.
Yes, right.
Who have the flu.
That's right.
Have we lost 20 million people on the coronavirus? No.
No.
Have we lost a million? No.
Right.
But it's woken up the world
mm-hmm.
to say you need to do some things.
Well, exactly. And I think that's just keeping the trip to Georgia we did a lot of talking, and one of the equations was, I said to Belen, there's 9,000, at that time, there was 9,000 tests that had been, people had been tested 9,000 times. Well, the population in Florida, 33 million.
Yeah.
So it was, 0.0004. So we just looked at each other. Okay, so it was an interesting calculation.
Well, how many people die of suicide every year in the country? How many people die of automobile accidents?
I think we're all looking
electrocution
at that, right,
from the storm.
Well, I think what's happened is we are all going to be aware on so many different levels we've decided to not look at for many years.
Maybe
right?
we will be better.
I think
because of
so.
this. Much
I think
better.
so, because I'm looking at things differently. I thought I had a great attitude and have focus on the right things, but it's interesting. It's made me step back and look at overall what does happen in this country on an annual basis, and how to be better. How are we better? On a daily.
Yeah. And like I say, I think it's going to last longer than the ameliorative. I have trouble saying that.
Because it's
of 9/11. It was short-lived compared to this is something we have to live with.
It's not going.
The building
away.
was in
We're
New York
just
City.
gonna
Now it's
combat it.
right outside my
That's
reach.
it. Right outside your door.
My reach, my hand,
right here.
because it's something that
when you I found it so interesting just handing someone cash. Have you tried that recently?
No.
Well, don't. They won't take it.
I would say put a glove on it and take that money. That's legal tender. You cannot refuse it.
I know. To me,
I'm going to stop at the store and use some cash.
Well, because the lottos, you have to pay cash.
Oh yeah, right.
My daughter and I went and got the lottos on the way out of Georgia the other day. She knows when things are down. I always say, let's just get a lotto. Yeah,
hit the lottery. They'll take our anxiety away.
What a good lesson.
Sit there sipping yellow birds on the beach in Aruba. Ever been to Aruba?
No, but it is on the
list. We took a Southern Caribbean cruise. We had to fly to San Juan.
Okay.
And the price was all the same as it was a regular cruise, so it wasn't any extra. Flew to San Juan and went down to Aruba, Curacao, and St. Kitts. Now they're in the Southern Caribbean.
Yeah.
But Aruba, I think, is like 15 miles from Venezuela. But they don't get hurricanes because they're too far south of that. So that preserves their beautiful island.
Is it gorgeous?
Half of it is.
Okay.
Half of it is gorgeous beaches, beautiful resorts. You go on the other side of the island, it looks like it was bombed by a naval battleship. There are these big holes in the rocks, and it's all scrappy and crappy, and water spewing through it, and the lighthouse, and that's it. I mean, it looks like part of the moon.
Wow, and it's
so devastating.
Wow, okay.
Because of where they're located,
right,
and what's happening to them. But on the other side of the island is paradise. Amazing.
It is. It's just like how we can choose to look at it on a daily basis.
If you're really,
we can look at the doom and gloom.
If you're depressed, you go to the beach. If you're happy, go to the other side. There's a cute little story. Let me tell it quickly. There were these twin boys. One was an eternal optimist. The other one was an eternal pessimist. And his mother their mother wanted them to be normal kids. So she took them to a psychiatrist. The doctor worked with them and everything. He said, okay, I think we got it now. So he took the optimist or the pessimist into a room, and it had all these presents and toys, and he closed the door. Well, the kid looked at it, and he got all excited and said, well, see, we changed his attitude. He went and started playing with his toys, and he stopped. He said, oh, my God, I'm going to be in trouble now. I touched the toys. They weren't mine. And he went back and sat in the corner again. He said, well, we failed with them. But he said, I think we cured your other son. So he took the other son in a room and closed the door. And in the middle of the room, there was a huge pile of manure. So the kid shook his head and looked, and all of a sudden his eyes brightened up, and he jumped in the middle of the manure, and he sprang it over his shoulder. And the doctor came in and said, what are you doing? He said, where there's manure, there's got to be a pony.
Oh my God, I love that.
We're looking for the ponies.
We're looking for the pony in the manure and happy about it. Oh my gosh, isn't that the story of our life?
Yes.
Because you're so much
Well,
like
because
I
the
am.
pony's
We do it.
significant
We
to
look
me.
for the pony.
We didn't have much. I didn't know I was poor till I left my
Isn't
town.
that? It's so, oh my gosh.
But every morning I read down and there see these Christmas presents, a couple for me and everything. And I would look under this, how could they get a pony under there? Every year I didn't get my pony.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what I would have done with a pony. Sounded like
But you still look
sounded
for
like a
it.
good idea at the
I
time.
wanted the pony too. I did.
There's a
Did
pony.
want that pony.
I did a treatment program and they gave me a little brass paw pony.
Oh.
And on the back that said, "There's a pony in all of our hearts."
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Because I used that
I
story
love
with
it.
them and they were impressed with the little pony thing.
You know,
Well,
mm-hmm.
we.
Oh my gosh, no, it always comes to an end.
I know, it's so fast.
We always have a good time.
Well, you go back and tell all my friends that I'm still alive.
Absolutely.
And that
alive and well.
We're going to see you pretty soon because I don't think you're going to be holed up too much longer.
I feel the same way. I'm very positive about it. I think we're on our way.
I think once things start moving and business start opening, there's going to be this sudden influx of positiveness.
You're absolutely right.
For the first time in the history of this country, the workers are protected.
Isn't that true?
Many workers are protected under this.
It's true. Everyone's
recovery.
being looked at. Right,
Yeah.
right.
And it's not a recession.
No. Thank God.
It was a little burp.
It's a little hiccup. Yeah, a little hiccup in the way.
So we're going to do this, right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm blessed that we're still moving people in. And that's to me, it's so rewarding because it's, families in New York calling and my mom's alone.
Yeah. And, again, maybe we can come back in a few months and visit this and see how things are going.
I would love to do a recap and see where we are.
Right. Or anything innovative that you've come up with.
It's a date. I'll bring pictures.
Yes, and hand wipes.
And wipes. Yeah, I got my Lysol wipes with me.
Well, I hope they shorten the distance for the 6 feet.
This is hard. I keep wanting to get closer to you.
You can't do that. Isn't it nice for a woman to tell you that?
Don't tell your wife. 42 years?
She's 42. No, June.
God bless.
June be 42.
Wonderful.
I know.
love that.
I know.
Love that.
Next time I'll tell you the story about my marrying her 9 times.
Oh.
I have 9 times. But that's okay. That's for another show.
God bless. I love it. We'll keep it up.
And we'll be back again very soon on the forum.
Thank you, Pat.
One in faces the isolation. Save volunteer lunch break. Brought to you. So,
WETS station. Sing live. Surgical studio. Let's talk station. News. Bill. America. Individual. Leader Mitch. 9,000 plus billion. Leader.
Accountability. There's oversight.
Connected to the voice.